would like to invite you all to stand and sing with us.
Come on, stand.
Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight, when true simplicity is gained. To bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Lindsay. Good morning. Welcome to the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Nicole. I am the spiritual director here, along with our senior minister, Reverend Michael Heinle. And we are so excited to get to be together here this morning. We are a spiritual community who has been around for well over 50 years with our doors open, celebrating life, celebrating spiritual principles and practices that help us live a healthier, happier, more freedom-filled life. Nelson Mandela once said that we were not born with a hunger for freedom, but that we were born free. And that is what we'll focus on all month, is that inherent freedom within every one of us. If you're here for the first time, please know that you are absolutely welcome here, no matter what faith, background, walk of life you come from. We're a spiritual community that welcomes everyone. We have, I have a very special announcement that our beloved musician, Tina Carson, will be leaving right after our service to go to Australia just for a couple months. And so I want to invite us all just to take a moment and just think of her now. And just hold her in your prayers, in your sight, in your light, and just hold space for this incredible adventure that she is embarking upon. We love you, Tina. We have an amazing service in store for you this morning. Our guest musician, Tina Carson. Another special guest musician, Carol Devon. And our house musician, Lindsay Headley. We have our beloved spiritual practitioner, Judy Kopke. And Reverend Michael and I will be sharing the message this morning, Born Free. I'd like to share just a few announcements with you. Our flowers this morning are dedicated to Tina Carson. Let me just read the dedication really quick. Our administrator wrote this one up. She said, Tina, put a shrimp on the Barbie for all of us. Good luck on your new adventure, your SBCSL family. We are your family, and we're always here for you. This Wednesday night, our Wednesday night experience will go dark because it will be 4th of July, and so we assume you'll be off celebrating your freedom with the rest of us. July 7th starts a book study with our own Reverend Juanita Gardner. And this is an amazing book. It's called The Power of Receiving. And so it was suggested to Reverend Juanita that by some people who had felt that they had spent a lifetime giving, and now they were in a position where it was time to receive, whether willingly or unwillingly. It was time for them to open up to receiving, help, support, love. And so if any of you have ever struggled with the practice of receiving, I invite you to join her in this book study. We have the Untethered Soul workshop coming up Sunday, July 15th from 1:30 to 3:30, from 1 to 3 after service, and this is facilitated by Jack Roberts. Jack Roberts, would you raise your hand? Thank you. Yes. I'd like to invite up Janice Guevara to share another announcement with us.
Hello, everyone. Okay, let's have a party. Why not? This time we are celebrating the upcoming marriage of Reverend Michael and Reverend Nicole. Yay! So we're going to have a family wedding shower, meaning everyone is invited. I'm just going to read you a few little details that I forgot to mention at the first service, but okay. It is Saturday the 21st from 3 to 5:30. We're putting it a little later in the day because that's the day the kids come back from camp, and we need our teenagers there. They'll be a little smelly with a lot of laundry, but we want them there, right? It'll be here, and our theme is joyous play. So
Yes.
come in play clothes, and we're going to have some fun. Okay, we're going to be eating and playing games outside. Bring a lawn chair or a blanket if you wish to eat underneath the shade. Dress comfortably, wear some sunscreen, wear your SBCSL t-shirt if you have one. If you don't, get one, or whatever. Let's see, Oh, be sure to sign. I have 3 posters outside. One is just frequently asked questions and the sign-up sheet. So let us know if you're coming so we know how many, napkins and plates and stuff to buy. And the other one is stuff to bring, because it's a potluck. And the third one is stuff to do, if you want to help with setup or cleanup. And then I have these little slips for you to write down what you signed up for.
Very nice.
That's it.
Is this like the sweetest community ever or what? Jeez. Oh, one more thing. Somebody left their keys in the bathroom. Oh, good. Okay, they're here for you, Rachel. Oh, going once? Shall we bid on them? Oh, they are yours? Okay. Well, we'll figure that out. Okay. Okay. I'm learning. Okay. So what I want to do now is I just want to light our memorial candle for not only for the shootings that happened this week and the suffering that has been going on, but I want to light this candle in expectancy. An expectancy of the light, an expectancy of the good that is always there and always being revealed. I just want to invite each of us to take a look at this light. And remember that there is a light like this within us. It is a flame of truth, a flame of love, a flame of peace. And just breathe into that. Every one of us has an ability to use our light to rise up, to step up, to lift our minds to the higher idea that good shall prevail in all areas, that there is a peace that passes all understanding, that there is a holiness in every step that we take. And as we become this light, we become the light way for others. And so let us just take a moment of silence to embody the light. In knowing that no effect has reign over our hearts and our minds, but that there is only one first cause back and behind and before all things. And it is a divine intelligence so powerful it created universes, and it creates our life. We living in this life have the free will of choice to choose and choose and choose again. And so right here and now I declare that there is a new thought, a new idea, a higher realm that we choose to live in. And that as we do this, as we raise our heads and our hearts and our minds, we raise those around us up too. And I invite us to stay in this contemplative state as we move into our meditation. Just relaxing into our chair, knowing the truth that surrounds us, that is within us.
The science of mind and spirit makes a tremendous claim when it states that the individual should be free from bondage of sickness, poverty, and unhappiness. It does, however, carefully set forth the conditions under which freedom operates and the laws governing life, stating in no uncertain terms that unless man understands these conditions and obeys these laws, he will not receive the full benefit of its teachings. The world is beginning to realize that it has learned all it should through suffering and pain. Surely, there can be no intelligence in the universe that wishes man to be sick, suffer pain, be unhappy, and end in oblivion. Surely, if God or universal intelligence is imbued with goodness, then it could not ordain that man should ultimately be other than a perfect expression of life. Born free, this is the blessed condition into which we are all born. But what a mixed blessing it is, God. It entails for us responsibility. We love the freedom to make our own decisions, but the responsibility scares us. We know the key to happiness in life lies in the use of the principles we live by. There can be no choice unless there is something from which to choose. This implies the possibility of suffering, and we fear that. Make our blunders wise, O God. Open our hearts and ears that we may hear, understand, and live by and with the principles upon which God created life. We are here, God. Be with us in this coming hour. We are here to listen, to follow, and to learn. And so it is.
Hey, hi. I'm just going to pull you right on out of that deep, wonderful, delicious place you were just at and talk about Carol. You know, when I first came here and became a kind of somehow, it was somehow a member of you, I hadn't played my guitar for almost 6 years. And Carol is a professional. You've played with symphonies, yes? And she hasn't played for a group of people in 3 years. And it's just a testimony of what happens here. You just don't get away with hiding around here. You just can't hide around here. All right, then. Glad we got that straight. So if this is your first time here, we'll let you hide for a while, but your inside's just going to come out. That's just how it happens. But you know, hold on. We'll support you the entire way. So just stay. Well, break me out the pattern, the rings of Saturn, yeah, and get me out of my way. I'm surrender mission to gain another vision. Get me out of my way. The stars, they be whispering around, they be kindred. Get me out of my way. I chewed up a secret to find it in the teacher. Get me out of my way. And I'm still learning how to walk in my fire, live in my fire, love in my fire. And I'm still learning how to walk in my fire, live in my fire, love in my fire. If I try to push, I leave myself blinded, yeah. Well, get me out of my way. And so we stay reminded it's all perfect timing. Get me out of my way. I've gotta go under if I wanna find it. Get me out of my way. I am that I am, that I am what I am, that I am what I am, what I am. And I'm still learning how to walk in my fire, live in my fire, love in my fire. And I'm still learning how to walk in my fire, live in my fire, love in my fire.
me a hug.
Okay.
Oh. Ah. Oh. I love you guys. I hope this works. We okay? Oh, wasn't that amazing? And it's just a testament to the Spirit getting to be free. Thank you, Carol. Thank you for sharing that with us. I mean, it's just reminds me of when I became free, yeah. So, welcome to July 1st. It is the first day of a new month, and we have an opportunity at this moment to wipe the slate clean, to start fresh. Everything that came before now is gone. It'll never return. And everything that's before us is at our disposal. It's at our whim, it's at our creation. And so I would like to invite us to come together in an intention for this month, to come together as one. Because where people are gathered in the name of Spirit, in the name of uplifting, in the name of life and good, there is transcendence and transformation abound. And what I know about this group of people is that we are highly conscious, multifaceted beings who have been drawn together here by like this invisible magnetism to rise the vibration of love, to rise the vibration of peace and of wholeness and of healing on this earth. Did you know that's why you came here this morning? Okay. And so it's July. So our theme for the July is Born Free. And what I want to invite you, if you choose, is to step into the intention that we remember that we were born free, standing firmly rooted in spirit, that we embrace our life of liberty. So will you say that with me? I was born free and embracing, oh, hold on. Whoa, let's try this again. I was born free. Standing firmly rooted in spirit. I embrace a life of liberty. Yes. And let us take that as our own this month, because freedom changes everything. We were born free, and it is time that we remember that. And so all month, we will give a series of talks on the remembrance of this inherent gift that we were born with, our freedom. We'll talk about the liberty to love, the freedom to surrender. We'll talk about the spiritual freedom in emotional world. We live in an emotional world, and yet there is such freedom. And at the end of the month, we'll come together and we will brave a new world. And I'd love to hear about the demonstrations and the healing and the revealing that has come across to all of us during our experience of our intention. Dr. Ernest Holmes, on the 4th of July in 1937, Dr. Ernest Holmes is the founder of the philosophy, the science of mind philosophy that we study in the Centers for Spiritual Living. He says, ever since the dawn of civilization, ever since the very first human beings to grasp the significant fact that they were individual beings in a universe that was seemingly more or less hostile to them, enter a search of the human mind. And its whole endeavor has been to get free from bondage and the shackles of lack, want, and fear. I want to say that one more time. The entire search of the human mind, its whole endeavor has been to get free from the bondage and the shackles of lack, want, and fear. The great demand in the world today is for a sense of security, freedom, and liberty. Freedom and liberty are these natural, inherent urges within us. They are words that describe feelings. Freedom means the power to think and act and say what we desire without restriction. Freedom is the power to think and act and speak without restriction. And liberty is the ability to be free in a society. Now close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath for a moment. Is that a feeling that you relate to? Do you relate to desiring, to knowing that there is a power in your ability to speak and think and act without obstruction? Is there a desire within you that knows that it should be living in a society where it is free to be who you are? How does that feel? You can open your eyes. How does that feel? It feels right, doesn't it? It feels normal. It feels scary also, because we have been living in a world where we have been shackling ourselves and chaining ourselves and submitting ourselves to the laws of life, of the material world. And sometimes we forget that we are the ones with the keys to unchain and unbind ourselves. Reverend Michael soon will be sharing an experiment with you all that Dr. Ernest Holmes did, and I'm really excited to participate in that, and I can't wait to hear how that goes for all of you. But first, I wanted to share with you all a little bit about our adventure this last week. So we went to the Redwoods, and I wanted to share a little bit of what I've learned about freedom with you. So about a year ago, one of our best friends, a couple, Reverend Scott Olson and his husband, I think you've met them once before, we were having dinner a year ago. They said, "What do you want for your graduation from ministerial school?" I said, "Let's go camping." So they said, okay. So they booked us a campsite up in the Redwoods, and both of our families went. So it was Reverend Michael, Reverend Scott, Gabriel, their son, Jonathan, my two teenagers, my mom, and of course, Miss Emma Curtis Hopkins Jr., our little puppy dog. And so we're all off, and we go to the Redwoods. And I'm thinking, this is going to be great. I already knew, my heart, spirit through me knew everything, that it wanted to just dive into the feeling and experience and intention of freedom. So, and then be able to share that with you all. And so I thought, okay, this is great, right? There's no cell service. Like, we even forgot our air pump for our mattresses and our pillows. So we were like hardcore campers, okay, at this point. I mean, we tent it, you know, but this was hardcore for us. So at one point, we decided, okay, we're going to go for a hike in the Redwoods. And I said, okay, I'm totally down to do a hike. It's just, one thing is that I'm deathly afraid of heights, like super afraid. I mean, I've been to Costa Rica. We've done zip lining, hanging bridge tour. I've done all that, try to, you know, scare yourself out of being scared thing. That doesn't work for me. I'm still frightened, terribly frightened. So I said, okay, I'll go on the hike with you. Just make sure that there's no like ledges, right, where I'm gonna like die. And they said, oh no, we've been on this hike like 3 or 4 times. It's all good. So okay, so we're like, how far are we gonna go? And they decided, let's go 14 miles. And we're like, oh yeah. We're like, yeah, let's do this. By the time we get there, it had already drizzled down to 7 miles. By the time it ended at about 6. So we have big ideas, right? But so we're on the path. We're all hiking up, and there's like a whole trail of us. And what I realized in hiking somewhere like where there's stuff on the ground is that you don't really get to pay attention to your surroundings because you're too busy looking down and make sure you don't trip on something, you know? So I'm hiking and hiking. I got my medicine for the people on one ear. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling it, feeling the freedom. There's no, there's just nothing. This is pure, this is natural. I'm feeling very primitive right now. And then all of a sudden someone up front goes, hey, I think there's some bear droppings. And I'm like, and we stop and we're like, oh, well, as long as we don't see any more. So we keep going, and then they say, hey guys, we see some more bear, I learned it's called scat, but I'm just gonna call it droppings. And we're like, wow, so that's kind of scary. So Gabriel learned from Scott. Scott used to be, I guess, a Cub Scout. So Gabriel starts swinging his keys around, making noise with his keys, like to protect us from the bears that we couldn't see, but were obviously around. And I find a walking stick. So I'm like, I got my walking stick, protect my cubs. I'll do. I don't know if I'm gonna end up in a brawl with a. But that's what a mom's got to do, So. We were walking, then we see more, like bigger piles of droppings, bear droppings. And all of a sudden, we're stopped, and so we're trying to look around and see if we see any bears. And all of a sudden, I look down and realize that there's like 100 miles down here. I mean, it's like hundreds, it's like feet. It's a cliff. And my path had only been this big. And I said, what in the world? I thought you guys said that this was going to be safe. And he goes, well, the last time we were here was like 15 years ago. I'm like, oh. And so I'm like, oh, dear Lord, okay, I'm going to die. I'm like, Michael, do you have a plan for a co-ministry without the co in it? Like, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I don't know, but anyway, that's how I was. And so I'm like, I got my stick, and he's rattling the keys. And, of course, Reverend Michael and Reverend Scott are very, stoic and chill about the whole thing. And me and Gabriel are very passionate and enthusiastic. Let's use those words. And so he's jiggling the keys, and I've got my stick, and I'm like, okay, I'm either going to die because I'm going to fall, or I'm going to die from the bear, and a helicopter can't come and get me, and what am I going to do? And so I was like, so we keep going. Finally, we see it cut off to a road, and Gabriel, me, and my kids were like, we're done. So that's it on this freedom walk, right? So what I realized is that freedom can scare the droppings out of a person, Yeah, too much freedom. Oh, man. And I'm thinking, so then it dawned on me. I started cracking up once I was done because I was like, oh, that's the point. Freedom is beautiful, and we all desire it, and it's inherent within us, and it's scary. And once we stop thinking the way other people tell us to think, and once we stop acting the way other people tell us to act, and once we realize that we get to be in charge of who we are and make our own decisions for ourselves, we're at a place where we're like, oh, crap. What do I do? Who am I? Well, that's what it is. Freedom is beautiful, and it takes a lot of courage and strength and vulnerability. And so that's what I want us to know while we set this intention to explore and experience our freedom, that I've got your back. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It might be more like a walk in the redwoods. But we've got this. Look at Carol. 3 years without singing, and now she's up here. I can imagine that for all of us. So let us just embrace this freedom together. Let us embrace this intention together. and with the courage and strength vested within us by the divine, I invite us to remember that we were born free and standing firmly rooted in spirit. I invite us to embrace a life of liberty. Thank you.
Wow. With that hiking story, I bet you guys are surprised to see me walking on this stage today. Oh my God. I had a little different experience. Poignant and meaningful and deep, but it was different. So, for the first time, I think, is that I was in the rear of all the hikers. And I could have said that it was because I could fight off this dreaded bear from my tribe to keep them safe, because I think they were a little scared by that time. But what it made me realize in coming back here was that one of the things that's happened as I've aged, it's very important that I stay strong. It's very important that I stay centered, even if I cannot keep up the same speed. And for me, I was fine with that. And on the drive back here, I realized that, in a way, that's sort of my role here. It's my role to stay strong, to stay centered, and allow all of you guys to go chase your squirrels and your rabbits and just continue to move this wonderful, diverse group of people together one step at a time. Because our beauty comes from our diversity. So that was my experience of the hiking. I did choose, it took me 15 minutes, I did choose the strongest walking stick, because I'm just almost totally recovered from this knee injury I had, so I just wanted to be careful about that. But let's get back on the subject. For me, it was a great experience earlier this week. Nicole and I, for the first time, could spend some quality time talking and visioning about the message we're going to bring you guys this month and how the different talks interplay with one another. And I love the intention. The words are small but powerful, short but powerful, I should say. We were born free. We stand rooted in spirit. We embrace a life of liberty. So sometimes those short sentences give you a life experience. But what I want to do today is put a call to action to each and every one of us. Because part of the problem with being born free and living the life of freedom is it takes a lot of courage. And those of you who know me know that I love the early teachers of New Thought. I'm talking about the ones that were over a century ago. And when I look back at those teachers, they put forward this wonderful philosophy. They had very, very high expectations. And I would think if they were here today, those men and women would be a little disappointed, because they had these visions that this philosophy would absolutely change our culture, change our planet, and change the group consciousness more than it's been. So I think we've been chasing these squirrels and rabbits. We've been looking at our iPhone, and we've allowed complacency to come in. And one of these great people, Ernest Holmes studied when he was just a teenager and in his early 20s. His name was Ralph Waldo Trine. He wrote the fabulous book, In Tune with the Infinite. And I'm going to share with you an experiment that Ernest Holmes did around 1942. And Ralph Waldo Trine revisited his introduction to the book because he was so concerned about the conditions. But let's put it in perspective. This is 1942. The Nazis are still in power and probably increasing in power. So the entire consciousness is about what everyone viewed almost as evil incarnate taking over the continent of Europe. So this was a scary time. And so this is what Mr. Trine said. He said, "I've often said to friends and acquaintances during the last 2 or 3 years that there is perhaps no one quality men need so much and right down in their hearts long for so much as the quality of courage. For courage to me is nothing more or less than a positive, creative type of thought. It not only keeps us going, but all the time works out effects on the course of our journey. Thoughts are forces, subtle, vital, creative, continually building and shaping our lives according to their nature. It is in this way that the life always and inevitably follows the thought. Thoughts of strength engender strength from within and attract it from without. Thoughts of weakness actualize weakness within and attract it from without. Courage, therefore, begets success as fear begets failure." And they were pretty straightforward back in the day, and they didn't mince words. And so what happens with freedom is it allows us to step into a messy situation. It allows us to step in a situation where there's cruelty going on. It allows us to step into a situation where we don't agree with what's going on, where some of us think it's insanity that's going on. There's a lot of situation that's not fair to a lot of people. And I can think of no other person in the world that bravely and boldly stepped into that situation as Dr. Martin Luther King. There was bigotry, there was hatred, there was awful stuff going on. And Dr. King told us we had freedom, and freedom required courage. But courage required one other thing. He said that courage required peace. And the peace that he was talking about was the peace that Paul talked about, the peace that passeth all understanding. And this is Dr. King's experience when he was reflecting back on that. He said this: "The peace of which Paul spoke is a calmness of soul amid terrors of trouble, inner tranquility amid the howl and rage of outer storm, the serene quiet at the center of a hurricane, amid the howling and jostling winds." So we have these people that tell us that to have courage is good. It lets us live this life of freedom. And in this life of freedom, as terrible as it seems, and all the muck and mire, somehow, some way, in that muck and mire, we see this tingling of spirit that's going to make everything okay. It's going to make the power of the people come forward, and somehow, some way, the answer will be found. And Dr. Holmes, same time, in 1942, he put out this experiment. He was saying, I have this affirmative prayer that I've been using to his inner circle and outer circle, and I want you to use it for a period of time and tell me if it worked for you. And so that's what I've shared with you today. You should have had a copy somewhere by one of your seats. And the affirmative prayer is the middle section in italics, somewhat bolded. And what I want to do is to challenge you. It's a personal challenge. It has nothing to do with 1942. It has everything to do with right now. I want you to think about your personal principles. And if something has infringed on your personal understanding of principle, I want you to make a commitment to speak truth to power. And since you don't have this new minister covenant to do every day, I want you to speak truth to power, because there's power in your numbers. There was powers in the numbers that Dr. Holmes did. There were powers in the numbers that we're actually not the only Center for Spiritual Living that is doing this. So there's power in our prayers, but there's only power in our prayers if we exercise that power. So it's a bit much for us all to recite together, so either read along with me or settle down and let my words act as your own. And it goes like this. I am filled with inexhaustible energy of life. I am filled with limitless enthusiasm for living. There is a deep calm at the center of my being, which is undisturbed, which is forever at peace with the universe around me. I know that the power of good will prevail and that there is being worked out now in the minds of men and women everywhere, a divine pattern of freedom, protection, and cooperation for all people. I know that no thoughts of doubt or depression can enter my consciousness. There is nothing in me that receives them. I live in the buoyancy of spirit. There are no doubts in my consciousness. I have an ever-deepening appreciation for all people, an ever-deepening sense of gratitude for the knowledge that the spirit cannot be assailed. I know that good is finally going to come to everyone and that all problems will be solved. Neither fear nor self-pity can operate through me. I am alive with life, with joy, and continuously upheld by a deep, unshakable conviction that there is a presence and a power and an intelligence in the universe, which is working out a perfect pattern for human conduct and relationships. I rest in peace, in joy, and in love. I know that this is not only true of myself, it is true of every person who lives. And so I'd like to close with prayer, and I'd like to ask Nicole to join me. So use this and come visit and tell us your feedback throughout the next few weeks on how it worked for you.
Numbers and emails are in the program. We'd love for you to message us or text us or send us a video of you reciting the prayer. Let us know how it's going. And please know that we're here. I'm up in the office almost every day of my life, except for Mondays. And we're just here for you. We love you, and we want to be a community together. So.
And now let's just go within for a moment. Go within and absolutely know the power and the presence that is in this room at this very moment. Know that we are powerful beyond our dreams. Know that there is freedom in the world. To have freedom takes courage to walk the path. And I know that this blessed community has that courage, has that knowledge, has that guidance to walk their perfect path. And we come together to celebrate this path that we walk together. And for this life of power, for this life of joy, for this life of the presence of spirit, I just give thanks and I pass.
And I know that there is only one. There is one life, one mind, one heartbeat, beating in and through us. We are the beloved's beloved. We are the children of the Most High, lifting us. There is a great good beyond all understanding, beyond all recognition, beyond all comprehension, that is always caring for us, that is always supporting us, that is nurturing us, and that is right here in the very presence of us. We are it. We are the representations of love and action. We are the representation of peace in this world. How good it is to know that we are together and one in spirit. How good it is to know that we have one another. For the joy and the blessings abounding us, I give gratitude and say, thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Thank you.
I want to say thank you. Thank you for, thank you They didn't do that the first service, so now, great, I got all these flowers to take home. No, I'm just kidding. I love that. Thank you. It's wonderful, and the support here is amazing. You have been amazing. But I want you to know that we're all going together, and as much as you're supporting me, and I appreciate that, there's a bigger picture. Reverend Robin Holt, who was here just a few weeks ago as a guest, has only been in Sydney. She's from there, but she's been here for a long, long time. She became a minister here in the States, and then she went back to Sydney 6 months ago. And so life has changed there, you know. It's when you leave home for about 25 years and you come back. And so now she's starting a new spiritual center. And we have ours, right? And so what I would really love is we're going together to help her. Because I'm coming back. But what we want to leave her in spirit is a new community, you know, over there. Because the whole reason she told me the story just recently. The reason she became a minister is so that she had a CSL to go to, because there isn't one in Sydney. And so let's do this together, yeah? All right then. Okay, good. I'm glad I made that straight. You guys are making me cry and stuff, and it was like, hey, let's get back on track. There's no need to explain these things. We were late just to arrive as the sun climbed through the sky. There's no need to explain these things. We're rejoicing not to know. Let the music fill our soul. We've got to be free. Free. We've got to be free. Got to be free. Free. We've got to be free. Free. Well, I met with Uncle, and he played his drum, and all of his brothers, they sang as one. We were all laughing under that sky. When it was so simple, a thunderbird could cry. Well, I am reminded of the light in my soul, and I do remember I'm already whole. The madness is talking. Tell me, what does it say? When we come together, we find a way. There's no need to explain these things. There's no need to explain these things. We were late just to arrive as the sun climbed through There's no need to explain these things. We were late just to arrive as the sun climbed through the sky. There's no need to explain these things. We're rejoicing not to know that the music and our soul, we've got to be free. Free, we've got to be free. Yeah, yeah, we've got to be free. Yeah, we've got to be free. Oh, got to be free. Free. We've got to be free. We've got to be free. We've got to be free. Carol, do that for Carol, would you? She gets us going so well. I don't even know how to end this. I don't want to end this song. So yeah, stand up for her. Go ahead, let's do that.
Oh, gosh, you guys. It's only 2 months, right? Only 2 months, okay. Okay. So I just want, is Steve Blue still here? Oh, there you are, okay. So I'd like to invite us all to join in a spiritual practice of our contribution, of sharing our spiritual investment into our community. If you felt nourished and nurtured, I invite you to share in that and share a gift with this community for all the things that we get to do and all the ways that we get to support the greater good. And I want to invite up Steve Blue to share with us how amazing you guys did. So come on, Steve Blue.
Good morning. Yesterday, as many of you know, we gave out our outreach blessing bags to the homeless and to those in need at the COA in downtown Long Beach. And thanks to all of you, through your donations, we were able to make over 100 bags to hand out yesterday. And thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you. And you should have seen the looks on everyone's face as they come through that line yesterday. It was really a connection there that they were so appreciative of just these bags that we give them. And we had so many left over, and also from assembling them this last Wednesday, that I was able to take 3 full bags over to Cal State Long Beach, where we participate in their beach pantry program. And so we were able to also give to them, and we're going to be doing more of that in August, and we'll be talking about that later on. But I want to thank everybody who was part of the assembly on Wednesday and who helped hand out the bags yesterday, and that would be Leona, Chris and Margie Johnson. I saw Pat Maloney back there. There's Dina, Carol Ann Perini, Renee, I don't know if I forgot anyone, Caroline Sean. If I forgot anyone, forgive me, but thank you so much for your help in this. Thank you for giving. We'll be doing this again in October to give out the bags in the first Saturday of November. So start saving, but we'll be doing it again and again. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I love that we not only make a difference in our own lives, but that we're able to, as a community, coming together, support so many more lives than we would ever know alone. So I invite you to take your gift or your offering and press it to your heartbeat, beating the life around and circulating. And I invite you to say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous. Thank you, God. Tom is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning. My name is Tom Hodges. I'm a practitioner here at the beautiful Jewel by the Sea. I'd like to invite any of you who might have something on your mind for which you would like prayer support. We'll have practitioners lined up along the patio window wall after the service. We also have prayer requests back here on the practitioner table you can fill out. We can respond to you via email or telephone call. So that's our role here, to support you. I'd like to invite you now to close your eyes if you are comfortable. And just know that there is one life. I know that we repeat that over and over, but we can't say it enough. And I like to think that I am not a part of that life. I am one with that life, inseparable. I can never be apart from it, and neither can you. So whatever you have going on in your life, be it relationships, finances, health, know that Spirit is right there with you, supporting you. I'm so grateful to know this truth. So very, very grateful. And I'm grateful to know this truth for each and every one of you. And so please join me in saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Tom. Let's bring in the kids. Right there. Uh-oh. Jonathan's here. So you know, I've told the whole congregation about our
Good morning.
morning.
Do we have Riker? Oh, here you are. So this month, like you guys, our theme is Born Free. And today we talked about how that we know when we are really in our truth of who we are, which is awesome and perfect, whole, and complete, that we then the possibilities for our lives and to experience the things that we desire are limitless. And we did a little experiment that Lilia and Riker are going to tell you about. What did we do, Riker?
So we picked partners, and one partner wrapped us in toilet paper, and
Could you move?
no.
Lilia, why did we do that?
So we can feel the experience of not being free.
Yes, to feel the experience of not being free. Did you like that feeling, Riker?
Definitely not.
It's not a good feeling. What are some of the things that make us not free, Lilia?
Sad and mad.
What else, Riker?
Frustration.
Frustration, yeah. So, and then what did we do? What did we do at the end?
We made pictures.
What did you do with the toilet paper? How'd you get out?
Oh, we just broke out.
Busted out. Yes, we did. I'm going to pass it over to the teens.
So in July, we're looking at independence, freedom, and we were also looking at how our choices, groups that we affiliate with, also make a difference. Maybe make a difference in the choices we make. Elliot, do you want to describe the exercise we did and what these signs are that we have?
Sure. Good morning. So the exercise we did was reflecting about the good qualities in ourselves through others. And so we had these signs, and people wrote good things about us that they see in us on them.
On our back, right?
They were on our back so we couldn't see, and they wrote things about us. And one thing on mine was insightful. You want to share about that, Drew?
I didn't write it. I did not write that.
There were a lot more qualities that we saw in ourselves, but we didn't necessarily see in ourselves. And afterwards, Keith asked us if there was anything that came as a surprise to us, any qualities that people wrote down. And some were a surprise just because we do it, but we don't realize what we're doing. And yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Good job, Elliot.
Thank you. No. Oh, and just a reminder that, and actually a thank you to everybody that supported our effort to get the kids to camp by buying their T-shirts and tote bags and cookies and hats, the really cute hats that some of us are wearing. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And we are still selling this weekend and next weekend, I know for sure. So I appreciate the help. Thank you. We do.
I want to invite you all to stand and take a hand. Yay. And repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in all that I do.
Life is in all that I do.
I give thanks for it.
I give thanks for it.
And I accept it.
And I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Come on.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it